Hey guys, how's it going? Ches back again with another episode of the Chelsea Career Mode here on Xbox One. It's episode number 63, and after yesterday's good performances against the teams from the North East, with a draw against Sunderland and a win against Newcastle, and that pretty batshit insane game against Aston Villa. If you missed yesterday's episode, by the way, there's a link as an annotation in the bottom left-hand side of your picture to take you to it. We're back to the Champions League. Now, we've drawn against St Etienne and AZ Alkmaar so far in this group, and the team we're coming up against at home today, Schalke, actually sit top of the group. So we've really got it up against us today. You would have thought Schalke would have been the best team by an absolute mile, but we actually got off to a fantastic start. Catch them on the counter-attack, and the ball gets whipped in, and Luis Muriel was there just 2 yards out to volley the ball first time into the back of the net. Not really too sure what Schürrle's legs were doing when Muriel was lying on the floor. I think he kind of got clipped inside Luis Muriel's legs himself and just kind of shook about a little bit. But anyway, Muriel looking for his second goal there. Unfortunately, he can't quite get enough of a loop onto the shot itself, and it goes straight into the arms of the gleeful Ralph Farman. Of course, had a team of the season this year, so he's not the easiest of goalkeepers to score against. But they're going to get a bit lucky here. The ball drops free. Great save from Petr, but unfortunately for us, the man waiting to put the ball into the back of the net, I think it's Julian Draxler actually. He's onside. It is Draxler. He's played onside, not really too sure who by, but Tranquillo Barnetta did really well to get past me down the left-hand side in the first place, to have that shot off the post rather. We get tackled there, and I think it's actually the guy at right back, my right back. I think I was playing Thomas Callas at right back in this game. Unfortunately, plays Julian Draxler onside, and from the second rebound, good save from Petr from close range, but unfortunately just fell straight to Julian, and he punishes us. We're back at 1-1, so we whip the ball in towards the back post, and Luis Muriel goes up again, and we find ourselves back in front. Not even half an hour in, and it's already 2-1, and I'm having flashbacks to that Aston Villa game, thinking I'm not too sure my heart can cope with another 4-3 thriller. So I was hoping to try and solidify defensively and keep them out for the foreseeable future, but they actually came on the attack again down this right hand side this time. Jefferson Farfan's going to do a nice turn inside and whip the ball in with his left foot, looking towards Kevin Prince Boateng of all people at the back post. Rises well, but heads the ball straight at Petr, and we get a little bit of a let off. It was literally end to end this game, and as you can see, Oscar's in behind here, and I tried to just dink it over, but I put too much power behind it, and he couldn't quite get it to dip in time before it flew over the top of the bar. So unfortunately we stay at 2-1, but we're still not out of the first half. Gonna have another highlight here 5 minutes before the end of that half. Tranquillo Barnetta finds the ball over the top. For some reason Mangala can't clear it properly, falls to Julian Draxler, great strike across goal, hits the outside of the post, and then your man at the edge of the box just absolutely flies in with an attempted overhead kick, gets absolutely nowhere near it. Unfortunately we went in at half time still in front. So made some changes halfway through the second half. As you can see, Modric and Quadro Asamoah coming on to try and freshen things up a little bit. Andre Schürrle linking up well with the ball down the right hand side with Thomas Callas and Willian. He's eventually going to try and find the ball inside to Arturo Vidal. Stands it up, looking for a man in the middle. It's Luis Muriel. Unfortunately for Muriel, it gets blocked, but similarly to the goal that Schalke scored, we get a fortunate rebound, and Muriel's able to put the ball into the back of the net, and he picks up his hat-trick. So very, very pleased for Luis Muriel to get a hat-trick, especially on the back of Marco Reus scoring a hat-trick in our last game against Aston Villa, and he was so confident he decided to try and dink it from 8 yards out across goal like that, and Ralph Farman was on hand, unfortunately for me, and Muriel only gets the 3, doesn't get his hat-trick, but still a 3-1 win puts us in a great position after the first round of fixtures in the group stage of the Champions League. We sit joint top of the league on 5 points. St Etienne beat AZ Alkmaar, so they too sit on top of the group with 5 points. We share the top at the minute, but a team that we're not necessarily sharing the top with in the league right now is Manchester City, although they are an extremely strong side. They've got Neymar up top, if you remember from when we were in the series before. They've also got Sami Khedira as a holding midfielder in their back line. They've also got Javier Mascherano in their lineup as well, so they're very, very strong when it comes to the defensive side of things, and quite inventive when it comes to the offensive side of things through players like Neymar. And Alvaro Negredo is going to be a thorn in my side all game long here, and we accidentally give the ball back to Neymar. Can't quite clear our lines properly. Eventually he's going to drop to Scott Sinclair here. Smashes it back across to Yaya Toure. Drives a good shot at goal, but Thibaut Courtois, just about on his way down to his left-hand side, is able to get enough behind it to keep it out. But Negredo this time, Courtois, nothing can be done about that shot. But fortunately, I always use fortunate and unfortunate as my kind of segues between sentences, but unfortunately for Negredo there, his shot doesn't quite bend inside the post in time, and he hits the outside of it, and we get another let off. And then Negredo with another glorious chance beats 2 men in the air to power that header, but unfortunately just past that far post. I may have intentionally used that word there just to, I don't know, just for the sake. But anyway, Michael Royce plays a nice ball over the top here that somehow manages to eventually fall to Alexander Pato. Luka Modric races onto it, and Sami Khedira gets a crucial block in so that the ball trickles towards Joe Hart in the bottom left-hand corner of his goal and doesn't actually fly into the top corner. So we push into the second half. Manchester City is still on top. Honestly, they were so good in this game, and James Milner almost caught me out there. I was waiting for the ball to be stood up into the middle, and he just absolutely smashes it towards that top corner and only misses by a couple of inches. Courtois almost caught wanting at his near post there, but luckily it didn't go in. But City came back at us yet again. They're not doing too well in the league, Man City. They sit like 6th place in the league, but they absolutely tore me apart all game long. And that deflection almost took the ball into the bottom corner, but Courtois is just about able to get down and smother it to stop it from trickling into the back of the net. But City came at me yet again. It literally was just 90 minutes of them attacking me, and that was almost an absolute wonder goal from Neymar. Great strike from about 30 yards, and that definitely was dipping into that top left-hand corner. The swerve on it is immense. Courtois does really well to get across that to palm it over. I was quite impressed with that. So I made a couple of changes. Brought on Lucas Piazon and Oscar for Marco Royce and Willian to try and freshen things up. Make sure we got enough enough pace on this side to perhaps catch them on the counter-attack, because that was my main game plan, considering they were coming at me in such offensive fashion and aggressive fashion. But Scott Sinclair going to stand the ball up beautifully in here, and again, they're just so unlucky. The chances just wouldn't quite go on target, and when they did, Thibaut Courtois was on hand to make a good save. So we just about scrape a 0-0 draw away at Manchester City, but we did not deserve that point whatsoever. So we come back into the cup against Burnley here in the League Cup, the Capital One Cup. Unfortunately, we were able to feel quite a strong side, considering there's been a lot of rotation in the squad this year, but we actually have quite a good amount of depth or strength in depth rather when it comes to our squad. We've got a lot of good cover in almost every single position, so I'm not too concerned about rotating players in and out, left, right and centre, because I have full faith that the players I do put in are going to be able to do the job. But Burnley were on the attack here. Nice little ball back inside to Danny Ings, and it was only a rushing out save from Petr Cech that stops Burnley from taking the lead there in the early stages. From then on, it was, I don't know, we said in yesterday's episode, I think it was, no, not yesterday's, in Tuesday's episode, I mentioned the cup jinx, where teams seem to play better against me in the cup than they do in the league. And in this particular instance, in this episode, we dominated Schalke in the cup, but were absolutely schooled by Manchester City in the league. So we're a bit up and down when it comes to our form in different competitions. And Ross Wallace, was it Ross Wallace? No, it was Junior Stanislas actually had that free kick, and it was really unlucky not to actually find the top corner there. If anything, put too much whip on it, and Petr Cech, I think, would have had it covered, but not too confident about that, as that was heading towards the top corner. But we went in at half-time at 0-0, and I was hoping to step things up second half, really, kind of drive home our authority on the game, and get ourselves a goal if we possibly could, because I don't really want replays. We already have enough fixture congestion as it is, but Oscar hits the inside the post there, and it doesn't quite find another man. They're able to scramble it clear. So I made a couple of changes again, all three this time. Willian, Remy and Atsu coming on for Schürrle, Muriel and Oscar, hoping to add that extra bit of pace, again on the counter-attack if we possibly could. And it was on the counter-attack that we were going to catch them here. Arturo Vidal and Loic Remy linking up very well indeed. Into Lucas Piazon, who plays a nice ball over the top for Loic Remy, and I just had no option here. I couldn't have scored from that angle, so I squared it. Arturo Vidal's there to head the ball into the back of the net, and just about 15 minutes before the end of the game, we are able to take a 1-0 lead. But Burnley still weren't done. They got a man over here. Thomas Callas caught out of position at the back post. Jones is going to find Danny Ings down the left-hand side. It was a good save out of Petr Cech, and a fantastic double save from Petr Cech with 5 minutes to go. Keeps us in the lead and secures our route through to the quarterfinals of the Capital One Cup. We cannot thank Petr Cech enough for that double save right at the end, because we just don't have enough space in our fixture list for any sort of replays whatsoever. As you can see, Bolton are through on penalties against Fulham, Arsenal through against Newcastle, QPR through against Huddersfield, and Rotherham are through against Aston Villa. A bit of a shock result there, but Leeds, Tottenham, Wolves, Leyton Orient and Everton Norwich are the remaining fixtures in that round. But we push forward into the next round of the Cup. We're pushing well in the Champions League, and we're doing okay Premier League wise as well. Still the only team in the league to remain undefeated, although Arsenal have one more game than me, so we're sit 1 point clear as we've drawn 2 and they've only won 9 and lost 1. So we're doing okay in all competitions so far. It's been a very, very good season, I have to be honest. So please do feel free to leave the video a like, guys. That'd be absolutely superb. Today is Thursday, so you'll be seeing a My Player episode tonight. There was the second episode of the Mission Maracana RTG on the World Cup's FIFA Ultimate Team series went up last night, so if you missed that, check the channel page for it. If you aren't subscribed to the channel already, feel free to do so. There's links on screen on the left hand side in the description, and there's also links in the description to my Twitter and Instagram as well, and you'll also find a schedule for everything that I upload on the channel there as well. And if you missed yesterday's episode, there's an annotation on the right hand side of your screen. But that's going to bring this one to a close. If we could get 150 likes on this, that'd be absolutely superb, and I will see you later tonight.